Alright. As a continuation, now we're going to be looking at your imagery. For those that are just tuning into this video, we did 2 parts already on poetry, so check those 2 videos out. The intro, subscribe to the YouTube channel, check me out everywhere. Masters _ZA, Masters 3 underscore on your TikTok. Yeah, asbangene. Without further ado, I want us to talk about all these things. Now remember, I said I'm going to be teaching you guys how to change. Now this is where we go into it. Your imagery, it's words or lines that create a imagination when you're reading them. You understand? There's certain words that when you are reading them, sorry about that. There's certain words that when you read them, they create a sense of imagination. They create pictures in your head and in your heart. So we call that line imagery. Yeah? It has a lot of imagery. Yeah? But sometimes imagery is not the same for everyone, but it is what it is. Then we talk about euphemism. Euphemism is a good way of saying something. Yeah? It's a good way of saying something. Instead of saying somebody died, we say somebody passed on. You understand? Instead of saying someone was killed, we can just say someone was somebody was murdered. Just better ways of saying something. You understand? They are crying over losing a person. You can just say they are mourning the death of someone. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just those better ways of saying something. Today you look unattractive instead of saying you're looking ugly. Perfect. Wow. I used to have that pandemic. Anyways, mara. Why on board. Now irony. Irony gives you guys a problem. I said it's opposite ideas. It's opposite ideas in a line, right? So it's opposite ideas in a line. When we're saying something is ironic, you understand? I am going to school. I don't want to go to school, but I'm on my way to school. It's ironic. I understand. It's clashing. I'm saying this, then I do that after. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are expected to do this, then this happens after. That's what irony is. And then we have your pan. I'm going to explain briefly how all these things are going to help you out in terms of like transferring. Let me just start right now so that you guys can understand without me going even further. When you know, let's go further actually. Then you say bambala. Your pan, it's something that has double meanings. Ne? It's something that has ambiguous meaning. It's something that has could mean a lot of things at the same time. Ne? It's something that can mean a lot of things at the same time. Right? I used to make an example in my previous videos where I'd say I murder the Jewish like Nazi. Right? I murder the Jewish like Nazi. Let me write it down. I murder the Jewish like Nazi. Right? It's from a South African rapper, Saudi. Shout out to him, or another ambition and all that. He says, I murder the Jewish like Nazi. Yeah? I'm trying to make an example with a pun. Now, I murder the Jewish like Nazi could mean that he goes and murders the Jewish like the Nazi party. Nazi party is out of Hitler's wara. I didn't do history. And then, this could also mean that I murder, which means I kill the Jewish. Jewish in South Africa is known as what? It's known as amarings, your jewelry. So we call jewelry Jewish in South Africa. And then like Nazi, which means the way I dress so well. Okay, so can you see that this thing has a figurative meaning, which means this sentence could just definitely mean that he dresses well. Do you understand what I'm saying? He dresses well. So think about it. Let's just say this whole sentence is in a poem. This line is in a poem, and someone says I murdered the Jewish, it's going to be, yeah, he went and murdered the Jewish, wara. Can't you know? This person was just saying that I dress nice. Can you see how poems are? They are so figurative. So a pun is something like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then we can move to sarcasm, satire. Sarcasm is just an indirect way of saying something bad. me and you are writing a test in class, there's 50 of us. When you get 0, and the teacher says, hey, Lebu is the highest in the class, Mara, you got 0. She got 0. Lebu is the highest in the class by getting 0 out of 50. That's being sarcastic, really. It's like saying a bad thing in an opposite manner. It's being ridiculous in an opposite manner. So you don't say it direct when you got 0, because it's not going to be fun. But you say it indirectly so that it can be a joke. That's your sarcasm. Then we come to satire. Satire, when we grew up, I don't know about you guys, but when we grew up, we used to have this thing about siyakwarana. In my hood, they used to call it ukilanzana. You're so fat, like you drank a whole liter of fish oil, dog. Hey, when I came, bro, you're black like you're Polish. Hey, when I came, bro, you're so tall like you're a giraffe. Hey, you're in a man here. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, siyakwarana, siyalanzana. So what kills you in the exam is you don't know that satire, ulanzana. I don't know if they can allow me in the exam paper to glanza, because that's the name that kwara. In Sipedi they'll say rakwerana, in Zulu but siyakwarana, siyalanzana kao. Kasi ways. I don't know other languages, but it's that thing about teasing each other. Teasing. Is that what they call it? But now it's called satire in home language, in formal language, it's called satire. So it's a ridiculing statement. And it's direct, this one. It's not like it's sarcasm, which is indirect. This one is direct. I hope I'm making sense. I'm a similes, I'm a metaphors, I'm a comparisons. Those are things that you should know in terms of your poem. Why? Because in order for you to be able to change those lines, some lines are metaphorical, and you must be able to change them. Do you understand? The bank swallowed my card. It's a metaphor. The bank swallowed my card. The bank swallowed my card. Check this. Let's just say a line says the bank swallowed my card. This is how I'm teaching you how to change. My card. Right? What could this mean? It just means that this person, agana mali. Number one, the bank swallowed my card. Agana mali. Because how can the bank swallow a card? I don't have money. Or that's what this thing means. The bank. So how can a bank swallow one's card? This person failed to get money. That's what it means. So if somebody was to read this and this person does not have knowledge about these things, the person will say, this person, the bank swallowed his card. How can the bank swallow your card? Really, it cannot. Do you understand? Unless if you can say this means Gucci, this person inserted the card in the machine and the card never came back due to a technical error. Then it created all this. I hope I'm making sense. Sharp. That's what's going on, Ray. The bank swallowed my card. Alright. Then we're going to tap into, so I was just making an example of metaphors and stuff. So all in all, having this knowledge, guys, it enables you to be able to change. Where you see a metaphor, you get to write down with a pencil next to it. So this means this, this means this. At the end of the day, when you take all those words that you wrote with a pencil and you read, it becomes literal. Everything becomes literal and you start understanding what the poet was trying to say. If you try and read it exactly as it is without knowing these, it's going to give you a problem. You don't have to, that's the misconception that you guys have, Uguti. You think you have to know all of these things because they're going to ask about them, which is the satire. No. When you get your poem, step 1, hey, this year I'm producing so many distinctions. Step 1, when you get your poetry, your poetry will be like this, That's just step 1, right? Your poetry will be like this, and now in your poetry there's a title and it's the lines, the whatever. Now, what's very, very important, what's very, very important, when it's like this, don't read the questions. Step 1. Even when I teach mathematics, that's what I say. Don't read the questions. What do? Go to your poem. Start dissolving it. Start dissecting it. How? Start by going to the first line and say, oh, Lana, personification. You change. Lana, metaphors. Oh, it's a metaphor. You change it, so that you can understand it easier. At the end of the day, you've already written with a pencil on the side. your literal understanding of it. Now you start reading it properly, then you can start going to the questions and start answering. Already when they say satire, when you already wrote it down with a pencil there, comment on the satire, you found it, it's in line 4, the satire, it means this and this and this and this. You just quote and explain, you get 3 marks. That's what makes people die when they are doing poetry. I'm going to make another video of me answering a poetry question so that you guys can see me doing it physically. I don't know which paper I'm going to choose. I'm going to look for a paper and I'm going to all do it. You understand what I'm saying? Thing is that you want to read the questions first and then go there and then start guessing. You don't even understand what you're reading. In order for you to understand what you're reading, I know this pandemic of you guys trying to memorize poems. You'll never get a distinction when you're trying to memorize a poem. What's important is for you to know how to dissect a poem yourself. Because any poem that they throw to, even your unseen poem, you'll kill it. You'll kill it. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful... From me, your boy Rachel K Pro, Mars.